Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye, and joining me, we have WWE Superstar Xavier Woods. How's it going, man?
AKA Austin Creed, AKA host of the greatest YouTube channel of all time. Up, down, down, subscribe. If you have yet to subscribe already, AKA 130 of your boys, the New Day, your six-time WWE World Tag Team Champions, AKA the Kind of Funny Commish.
Let's freaking go. Xavier, how are you doing today, man?
I'm fantastic. I'm blessed to be with you today. Thank you.
This is going to be such a great episode. Because, you mentioned this when they first announced that we're going to host together, is that, I think this is the first time we've had two black hosts.
ABC, all black cast. ABC, all black cast.
In fact, hold on. I need to do some, keep the people entertained real quick.
ABC, all black cast, all black cast. Yeah, let's go. What you got? Uh-oh.
I got a rep.
Ooh, there we go. I'm very excited about this.
So, this shirt is Spawn on Me. I got to give a shout out to the homie Khalif Adams. Mm-hmm. If you're unfamiliar, Khalif Adams, he's part of this podcast, Spawn on Me. It's really awesome because they do a lot of spotlighting people of color in the games industry. And Khalif is the homie. And so, if we're going to rep, we got to rep fully, man.
Yes.
We got to go all the way.
Yes,
it's
at all times.
One of the best episodes of KFGD.
I think
so. It's going to be great.
I can't wait.
Of course, today's stories include Final Fantasy VII's box art being revealed, an Apple Arcade competitor, and the return of Fallout 76 kerfuffles. Because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. YouTube.com/kindoffunny, or if you don't want to watch this live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, head to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad free. Before we get into a few things for housekeeping, of course, thank you to our Patreon producers, patreon.com/reretrogames, Blackjack, and Mohammed Mohammed. Today we're brought to you by Upstart, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Xavier, how does it feel? I wanna throw some shade.
Throw some
at one Greg Miller.
Oh yes,
because
I love doing that.
You're in town for SmackDown, and you guys are gonna kill it. I was at Raw last night. It was wonderful.
Yep.
And you're in town, and all of a sudden, Greg Miller is like, "Oh, I gotta dip. I gotta leave. I gotta go play The Last of Us 2."
Yeah.
Even though the homie Xavier's in town, the commish, is he scared of you? What?
Of course he is.
What's happening right now?
He doesn't want to see me in person. He doesn't want to see me face to face.
He would prefer to play Last of Us 2.
Yeah. The thing is, you're well aware it's gonna be good. You're not even going to be able to play it that much.
Exactly.
You can just play it when it comes out.
We know The Last of Us 2 is going to be The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be incredible. When I finished the last one, I was living with my friends Tyler Breeze and Rick Victor, two guys that I also work with. And I came out of my room, and they're like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I just had to make the hardest decision that I think I've ever made in my human life. They're like, from a video game? And I was like, yeah, it hurt. It hurt real bad.
Man.
So yeah, the second one's gonna be good. Greg just didn't want to be here around me.
Yeah, he didn't want to see the commish face to face.
It's disrespectful if you ask me.
He's
I understand.
scared. You took away his title. He's scared.
I didn't take away his title. He lost his championship. He actually never won it.
Because of the rules.
The bylaws.
Yeah.
I don't write the bylaws.
I know.
We all just live by them.
And I respect you for living by the bylaws.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have to.
And so instead, he instead found me from the street. I was selling mixtapes.
From the street?
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, let's just get this guy to host with Xavier Woods." And so I'm down with it. Let's make it work. Let's make it rock.
I think I've heard your stuff on SoundCloud.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I'm all over SoundCloud.
Perfect.
I just search Lil Pump. I just pop right up. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 3 stories today.
A motherfucking baker's dozen.
It's a slow news day, Barrett. But we're making it work because we have some exciting things going on. And so, number 1, Final Fantasy's box art has been revealed. And is it misleading? This comes from Jason Schreier over on Kotaku. I'm going to read some of what he wrote here because he had some things to say about the box art. And so here we go. This is Jason Schreier. He says, this is the box art released this morning. And it's here. If you're watching, if you're a video watcher, the box art is here so you can see what it looks like. He continues, released this morning for the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is out March 3rd, 2020. It's killer art, but if you saw it on a store shelf, you would have absolutely no idea that it's actually just part 1 of the remake. The game publisher Square Enix is calling Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually an expanded and enhanced version of the Midgar section of the original Final Fantasy VII, which comprises roughly the first 4 hours of the game. The remake looks and feels great so far, but we don't know when the whole project will actually be finished. Director Yoshinori Kitase told me at E3 that they hadn't even figured out how many parts it will be. Now, Xavier, are you familiar with what's going on with the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah, so it being in parts, and I'm glad that you just said that it was going to be the first 4 hours, because I was like, oh, in my head, it was always going to be broken into discs, because it was 3 discs.
Yeah.
And so in my brain, it was like, okay, well, that I can deal with that. It'll be fine, because the way games are released now, I feel like a lot of them are the length of like a disc of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, that's fine with me. But as soon as you said it's the first 4 hours, I was like, well, then how many parts is this? Because I feel like I dumped more than like 80 hours into this game, just doing random stuff, you know? So
it's such an interesting situation because like I've not played much of Final Fantasy VII. I've only played actually like probably the Midgar section.
Yeah.
And it seems like, yeah, this is going to be that, but it's going to be that expanded. And so it's going to be like the first 4 hours of the original game, but it'll probably net out to like, who knows? I don't know if they've been talking about it, but I assume like 20 hours for what this part 1 might be. And by the time it's all finished, like who knows? Like the Final Fantasy VII Remake as a whole might end up being like 200 hours.
Yeah.
Who knows? If this is only part 1. It's a weird situation because I do wonder like why aren't they calling it in the title of the remake Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 or Remake : Midgar or something along those lines. Do you like, I mean, for you, do you feel like you have a problem with that? Or do you think that like, you know, it's fine. The people that are fans will get it. Where are you at with that?
I feel like that. Because I love Final Fantasy VII. It's the first Final Fantasy that I actually played. And it's like, so I never had a PS1 until like way later in life, but I'd go to my friend's house to play Final Fantasy VII, right? And so for me, someone who loves this game, and for people in the community who do love the game, they've been keeping up with the information and they realize that it's out in parts. And if I'm a kid or an adult who's new to the Final Fantasy franchise, and new to Final Fantasy VII franchise specifically, and I see this on the shelf, I don't think that I would be upset when it's done and they go, oh, there's a part 2. I think I'd be more excited, like, oh, cool, more is coming.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had that experience of playing Final Fantasy VII for 100 hours, so I know this already. Like, I get it that it doesn't say it on there, that like it is misleading. I do feel that, but at the same time, it's like, we knew.
If it's like, and also like if this nets out at like a full game, right, in its own right, like even if it is just Midgar, if it is a 20-hour full experience and it feels like it has a beginning, middle, and end, and if they just want to call that, like, I get the title being somewhat misleading, but even like if it stands alone as its own release, and you know, like the next part really does just feel like Final Fantasy VII 2, but not necessarily like, you know, it's not like an episodic thing, right? It's not like it's, I assume it's not like Telltale, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, Walking Dead season 1, every episode is like 2 or 3 hours, and you can tell that like if you want the full game experience, you buy the whole season. In, you know, like a season in itself feels like its own game, right? This seems like it's going to be Final Fantasy VII 1 is going to be a full game, and then Final Fantasy VII 2, I guess, is going to feel like the sequel to 1, even though they're telling the story, the full story of the original Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, it's a convoluted thing, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't really have a problem with it. It's Final Fantasy VII. We're gonna get the game, like, and if the cover art is misleading, and if that's the only thing that we have bad to say about the game, like, we got worse problems. Than the cover art being misleading. The game is dope. Have you played it?
No, I've not.
So I got the chance to get hands-on. So
really?
Yeah, with the demo, like you play the first boss with like the scorpion tail thing. And dude, it's so good.
All of the videos, there was a GIF that was going around of Tifa just like going off on this
Yeah.
enemy, like doing like acrobatics, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
And everything that I've heard Tim Geddes say about it makes me super hyped for it. Even me as like somebody who I've never really fallen in love with a Final Fantasy game. And I think it's just always been like a wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. Because I was an N64 kid growing up, and so I didn't have a PS1.
So you're more mischief makers than Final Fantasy.
I'm more Donkey Kong 64.
Okay, fair. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
And then like, I didn't play any Final Fantasy games on PS2 unless you count Kingdom Hearts, which isn't real. Like it's adjacent, but it's not
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. Like Sephiroth is in there, but it's not Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Right. I tried playing Final Fantasy 13 on PS3. And I played that for a few hours, and I was just kind of like,
Really? You didn't like it?
I don't know, man. I liked parts of it. I love the soundtrack. I thought the graphics were beautiful. I thought the combat system was interesting, but for some reason I just got bored, and so I was just like, maybe Final Fantasy isn't for me as a whole.
And that's fair.
But like Final Fantasy VII as like an idea and as an aesthetic and as a style, I've always been somewhat into, and especially seeing the remake, I'm super into everything they're doing with the remake.
Yeah.
And seeing that the gameplay is going to be like real time, like action, as opposed to like the turn based stuff, I feel like that's going to appeal more to me. Because I've always been fine with turn based. Like I love Pokemon. I love like Persona, but like I feel like it being more focused on the action is going to get me way more into it. As somebody who's not really been able to get into a Final Fantasy, so I'm really looking forward to remake. In the Kotaku article that Jason wrote, he points out the press release that Square Enix put out for this game, kind of describing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they say, in the press release, quote, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a reimagining of the iconic original game that redefined the RPG genre, diving deeper into the world and its characters than ever before. The first game in the project will be set in the eclectic city of Midgar, and presents a fully standalone gaming experience that provides a great starting point to the series. And then Jason kind of encaps his piece by saying, you have to wonder how many people will see this box at GameStop or Target and think, wow, remake of that game I loved in the 90s, only to find out that they've actually just gotten 1/10 of the story of that game they loved in the 90s, which I think is a valid point. At the same time, I'm like, if they're fans,
then they know.
They should be informed enough.
But also, too, I can see this being more a valid point depending on how much it costs. If it's like $60 per an episode, I'd have an issue with that, because it's like, okay, it's one game, and now I've got to pay like what, depending on how many parts. Let's say it's in 3 parts. Now I got to pay $180 for this. Like now I'm geeked about it, you know.
Yeah,
but we have to see.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be on Amazon. Do they don't have a price yet? It looks like. I assume it's gonna be.
I'm trying to find it.
I assume it's gonna be $60. And here's the thing, I think we won't know until it's out.
Yeah.
Where we really stand on it, because I feel like if it's out and it does feel like a full experience, then I'm fine with it. Because I assume like maybe Remake 2 won't come out for another few years, right? And they're developing them like full beginning, middle, and end games. Unless
they're going to just be good to us and say, okay, so this is $60 for this disc, and then every time the new part comes out, you just get the automatic download.
That'd be awesome.
We don't know.
That'd be awesome.
So let's not pass judgment until we know.
And like I do put this on Square Enix and sort of how they've been promoting this game, because I feel like they've not been super clear on what's going on as far as like they've said multiple parts, but yeah, they are titling it just Final Fantasy VII Remake. I do want to comment, Barrett, if you could bring back up the box art. I want to know how you feel about this box art, because I think it looks hot.
It looks great.
Because yeah, for the audio listeners, right, it is like a white box with Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the logo on the top right, but then like it's Cloud looking at Midgar in the background with his big old Buster Sword. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, with his Buster Sword on his back. I think it looks hot. I think that looks awesome.
I'm biased to this sword because I have one in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll send a picture.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever.
I love this whole aesthetic.
It's such a good aesthetic. Like, I'm very much like an aesthetic person. If you can get me with a great aesthetic, then you can get me into your game. Right now, this is working for me. Let's get into our next news story. Google Play Pass bundles 350 Android games and apps for $4.99 per month. This comes from The Verge's Dieter Bahn. I'm going to read part of his piece. He writes, today, Google is launching a new service called Google Play Pass, which for $4.99 per month gives Android users access to over 350 games and apps, which will be served ad-free and without any in-app purchases. Google will give users 10 days free and is also planning on offering the first year at $1.99 per month. It will be available in the U.S. this week and other countries, quote, soon. Google's take on the app subscription model is a little different from Apple, which just launched last week. Apple Arcade. It's $4.99 games subscription service. It's a $4.99 games subscription service. I think there was a typo there. Firstly, Google Play Pass includes apps as well as games. Secondly, Google isn't directly funding their development nor demanding exclusivity. I'm gonna stop there for a second because I want to get like your surface level, like what's your immediate reaction to this?
So my thing is, I just switched over to the new iPhone.
Oh,
right?
nice.
So
how is it?
I love it. The camera's insane.
Really?
It's so
I mean,
good.
it better be insane with those three freaking...
It's wild with the spider eyes on it.
Yeah.
So while I was doing this, my previous phone, I had like 5 pages of apps. And I'm trying to transfer my data to my new phone. And it's like, oh, it's going to take 14 hours. I was like, well, let me delete all the apps and stuff that I don't use and then transfer. And I got down to a page and a half of apps, right? And so to get access to 350 games and apps, like I might use like 3 of those. Most likely those 3 apps are going to be free anyway. And so I feel like paying $5 a month to get access to this stuff. And then also, sorry, without any in-app purchases.
Yeah.
So does that mean that there are only going to be games that don't have access to in-app purchases?
That's a good question.
Because like, let's say that Clash of Clans is on there. There's in-app purchases in there, but can I now not make those in-app purchases because I'm paying the $5 a month, or are those purchases free? Like that's very confusing to me.
Yeah, and I imagine it can't be the second one, right?
It definitely cannot be the second one.
That can't be the case.
Like I'm going to rack up a $3,000 receipt because I'm paying $5 a month.
It's like Google's paying this for me, or like what's happening?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the I feel like there's more solid games that have in-app purchases than not. So like, what kind of stuff is actually going to be good that's in this package? And I could be totally wrong. If you're using an app or playing a game that with no in-app purchases, that was like just like $2, perfect. Like nope, Teppen has in-app purchases.
Does it really?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of one.
I guess in that case, like you just wouldn't see Clash of Clans on there, right?
Yeah.
You would just imagine that like games that heavily rely on in-app purchases just won't appear on the service.
Yeah. So
which is kind of a bummer, but like most of those games are also free, right?
Yeah.
And so like
they're free games with purchases.
Yeah.
So
I guess like it kind of just weighs out that like, yeah, I guess, I mean, they're free anyway. And so.
Yeah, I'd have to see the list.
Yeah, exactly. And we can get into that because like the article continues here. At launch, all of the apps and games included in Google Play Pass were already available on the Play Store and will continue to be available as standalone purchases or ad-supported. If you've previously installed any app that's included in the service and sign up, your current app should automatically have its ads removed and its in-app purchases unlocked. And so that kind of answers our
I recant everything I just said, especially because the next part says that you get Stardew Valley,
so the
Limbo,
next part,
and Risk. I do mess with Risk.
Yes.
I play Risk heavy. I might get this because of Risk.
So fast forwarding to the end of the article, right? It says Google says roughly 2/3 of the apps included in Play Pass are games, including longtime favorites like Stardew Valley, Monument Valley, Limbo, Let's Freaking Go, and Risk. In other words, they include a mix of indie and institutional developers. Similarly, the non-game apps include biggies like AccuWeather and smaller, well-loved Android apps like HiQ Recorder. I haven't seen a full list yet, but other notable games that I noticed include Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, which I didn't know was on mobile.
What?
Yeah, that's wild, right?
What?
How do you even play that on mobile?
I have no idea.
Just delete the whole 2 minutes of me saying I don't know if I want this.
I'm deleting it as fast as I can.
I don't even have an Android. I might have to get one.
Like it also says Mini Metro, Old Man's Journey, which I've heard is great, and ELO. And yeah, like so I'm an Android guy. I've been seeing all the Apple Arcade stuff for the last week, and it's been bumming me out.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff looks great.
Yeah.
Like I've heard so much about games like What the Golf. I've been playing Sayonara Wild Hearts on my Switch, and I feel like on mobile that game would probably be also pretty cool to have. And it seems like whatchamacallit, Exit the Gungeon seems like it's cool.
Gungeon's great.
Yeah, like
That's on mobile?
Yes, it's part of Apple Arcade as an exclusive.
See, I feel like I missed all the Apple Arcade stuff. So let me just backtrack real quick. So in the past couple of days, so Wednesday flew to Manila to do a show in the Philippines. Did a show, then the next morning flew to Shanghai to do a show.
Oh my God.
The next morning flew to Honolulu to do a show, and then flew here to do this. So I'm getting caught up. I apologize for not being as on point.
Hey man, like you don't have to apologize for nothing. You're out there living your best life. That's awesome.
So this is
Dude,
new information.
I need to work out. I need to wrestle, man.
It hurts a lot.
I can't imagine. Watching yesterday, we were at Raw yesterday, and Rey Mysterio was doing mad flips, and I was like, dude, mad respect, because y'all are just talented out there. There's so many flips in that 5-way match. Dude, yeah, respect. But yeah, like this seems like a good alternative for Apple Arcade. It doesn't seem like on the level of Apple Arcade, of course, because they don't have the exclusives. They are including some apps, including AccuWeather, which is interesting. But as an Android user, I could very well see myself like, at first when I heard the announcement, I was like, I don't know. But looking at what they have on there, it is kind of attracting me a bit for $5.
Question. So, so you know how there's some controllers that work with like either Android phones or Apple phones, but only certain games are attached to those controllers and allow them the controls to be used. Like, I'd be curious to see how many games in this what's it called, in the Google Play Pass are actually compatible with controllers.
That'd be an interesting question. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that would help sway me if I was an Android
Yeah,
user.
because I know like for Apple Arcade, right, a lot of those games, I think Apple just enabled controller support. Yeah, so I know that's like I know Greg was talking about how, oh yeah, like if I can just connect my controller to this thing, like that sounds awesome, right? Because that's something that pushes away a lot of people from playing mobile games. Like it pushes me away, right? I usually hate playing mobile games, and it's a very rare thing for me to like, I think within the last couple of years, the only mobile games I've played have been Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and like one other game, the Florence. I played Florence, which
Florence
is pretty great.
Incredible.
Yeah, Florence is amazing.
My God, I cried so many tears.
We have a question from Frankfurter. Frank writes in and says, good morning, Blessing, and the commish. Google is riding the coattails of Apple, Xbox, and every other streaming service. However, the way they are going to pay the developers for the games is outdated and unfair. Do you think that even with a change, say bundling it with Stadia, can save face for being tardy and offering developers less? Or is this new platform just doomed? Thank you for all you do, Frankfurter. And I at first reading this question, I was like, how are they doing it? I didn't have that information, so I was very confused. I did some research after I read the question, brought me to an IGN article called "Developers Raise Alarm Over Their Cut of Google Play Pass Subscription Money." And this article is written by Matt Kim. I'm going to read part of it. I suggest people go to IGN, give them a click, give them the view, because this whole thing is pretty fascinating, pretty interesting. It reads, Google announced the Google Play Pass today, and this was yesterday, a new subscription service for Android users, but an FAQ explainer on how royalties for developers work has some industry professionals worried about game sales moving towards a Spotify model, a model that has been heavily criticized in the past. Google Play Pass is a subscription service where for $4.99 a month, subscribers can have access to a library of games and apps without ads and in-app purchases. This subscription service is similar to the ones offered by Apple and Xbox. However, there is language in the Google Play Pass developer FAQ that caused some alarm in the game development community. According to Google, quote, developers earn royalty that incorporates time subscribers spend in their app and captures how users value all types of content, from weather apps to epic endless runners. Google says that this royalty model isn't set in stone and that it is continuously refining the model to make sure it fairly rewards titles that bring the highest user value, end quote. But game developers say this resembles the way streaming services like Spotify pay its artists. And I think this is interesting because so I listen to a lot of rap music.
Yeah.
I absolutely love rap music. And since I guess streaming services for music have become popular, right? Spotify, Tidal, all these different services have become popular. There's been kind of a shift in the way that at least I've noticed for rap music has been constructed. I can't speak for other genres really because I'm not that ingrained in it, but at least for rap, right? You see a lot of what they call microwave rap, right? Actually, I don't know who calls it that. Maybe that's just the thing I made up in my head, or maybe like, yeah, I don't know where I got that from, but that's what I'm calling it now, microwave rap, right? Where it is like we're going to make a song in a day. It's going to be 2 minutes long, right? But the whole point of it is to make it replayable, right? We're going to make longer albums with shorter songs, and so like 25 song albums with like 2-minute songs, in order to get those plays, get those streams, and we're going to essentially game the system, right? And I can imagine, right, if the way Google Play is going about it is, hey, we're going to pay you based on how long people spend in your app. That then maybe disincentivizes people to make games like Florence, which is an hour-long game, right? And you're probably not going to go back to that game the way you would go back to a game like Clash of Clans, right? And so I can see like that being a dangerous thing and that being the way not to do it, you know?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely I don't want to say pros and cons, because like not paying people is definitely 100% not a pro, but just talking on the evolution of things, so using music as the example. So before it was all about, just making like solid music, and they'd have, it's like Earth, Wind and Fire, like there's like a jam session that's like 17 minutes long on an album.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't do that now or you wouldn't do that in like let's say like the late 90s, early 2000s, because you're trying to make club bangers.
Yes.
But so you're making club bangers and not like quote unquote like good B-sides, And so now here's like another evolution to, like you said, microwave rap.
Yeah.
So now people are making these shorter songs. And so it's kind of the same evolution in gaming. If people are more geared towards this type of service like a Clash of Clans because they want people spending more time in their app, yes, we might lose games like Florence, or we just wouldn't have those games in this service. They'd be over here while people are more focusing on this type of game. And so not that it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it might just be like the next evolution
like a
in things, which is like a weird...
almost like a chicken or the egg thing, where it's like, is this just part of the evolution of how these services work?
Do we
like,
weather the storm to hopefully get to like the next better thing? Yeah. But who knows?
It's interesting.
If it relies so much on like this like kind of like model of making like games and apps for this service, do you think the service would have a very long like lifespan? Like, what do you guys think on that?
Because Apple Arcade, I'm not too familiar, but I assume they're not doing this because it hasn't been really reported on, right?
Yeah,
I assume Apple Arcade is probably giving, like paying, approaching developers and paying them just to be on their service as opposed to like doing it by time played. And so like, if the competition is doing it better and if developers feel more incentivized to go put their games on other services because they feel like Google Play Pass is screwing them, then I can't imagine Google Play Pass lasts too long.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just don't get that many great games on Google Play Pass because of it.
But it could also be a thing. And so I think this is a better way to say what I was trying to say before. So with the Google Play Pass, there are just games that developers make that are geared for that program. And so they're longer form games, or they're shorter games that might take an hour and a half, and then you're done with it. They just don't put on this platform. Yeah. They might send that to Apple, or they might just have it off of Google Play. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it could be that sort of thing as well.
And I think like, I don't know. I think there's something there. I think like maybe if even Google Play was like, hey, we're going to have two systems, right? We're going to have the system like Apple Arcade does it, where we approach developers who do want to make more, smaller games or shorter games or artistic games. We're going to pay them a lump sum to have their game on our service, and then games that are more service driven that you're going to get more hours out of, that are meant to like bring people back. We're going to pay those games based on time. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. I would need feedback, and like I'd want to know what people think about that. Yeah. Because like I'm not a developer. I'm not sure like, what the mindset might be if that was the case, but maybe that's a way to like get around that if they really want to keep this time-based thing, right? If they see value in that.
Yeah, because there are definitely developers who are well-versed in making games like that. Those are the kind of games that they like to make. Yeah. And I just want to make sure, I would want to make sure that like people don't get cut off from getting exposure or from getting paid because this service is set up in a way that doesn't help those types of games out. Yeah. But then at the same time, if Apple is doing it in a better way that's better for developers, then I feel like Google is going to hurt from that, and they'll have to change and evolve and be better in that space,
Let's get into our third and final news story. This is an interesting one. This is a fiery one. because we haven't had one of these in a minute, and so I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited I get to be on this episode. 20,000 Fallout 76 power armor helmets recalled for mold exposure. And I do want to preface this because I said I'm excited to be on this episode. I don't like wish like any like bad fortune on Fallout 76.
Definitely
it's just been one of those things where it's just been like a roller coaster as far as like, and the roller coaster has stopped. Right, it's been quite a while since we've read one of these, and so like it's just so interesting that this continues to happen somehow. This comes from IGN's Alicia Judge, and it reads: concerns have been raised that a wearable helmet included with special copies of Fallout 76 is a breeding ground for mold bacteria, resulting in the recall of over 20,000 units. As reported by DualShockers, the collectible model of Fallout's T-51B helmet that came packaged with the $200 Power Armor Edition is being recalled by the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission. It warns the polyester and cotton fabric inserts inside the helmet provide a safe haven for bacteria to grow. The recall listing reads, mold can be present, quote, mold can be present on the fabric insert inside the helmet, posing a risk of respiratory or other infections in individuals with compromised immune systems, damaged lungs, or an allergy to mold, end quote. Anyone who bought a copy of the Power Armor Edition can request a full refund via GameStop. As yet, there have been no reported incidents of health issues as a result of buying the model, but GameStop is also reaching out to customers directly. It's not the first snafu to plague Fallout 76's official swag. Customers complained after the same Power Armor Edition shipped with a cheap nylon bag instead of one made of canvas, which was initially promised. Bethesda eventually agreed to replace the nylon versions if those who wanted a canvas bag filled out a request form. Xavier, are you familiar with all that's gone on with Fallout 76, like the canvas bag situation and all of that?
It's been very interesting because I'm a huge Fallout fan.
Same.
Like, dumped so many hours into New Vegas and just like loved it for so long, and so stuff just hurt.
It's so unfortunate because like
hurt.
I'm such a big fan of Fallout 3. I love Fallout 4. I still haven't played New Vegas, and I apologize.
Haven't played New Vegas?
I've not played New Vegas.
It's so good.
It slipped by. And the thing for me was I played Fallout 3 pretty late. And I finished Fallout 3 and I was like, oh yeah, let's play Fallout New Vegas. But I was just so like I was so done.
4's dope though.
Yeah, 4 is awesome. I feel like it got some hate. Justifiably so, because it didn't run the best, but it was still awesome.
Yeah.
It was still great.
Yeah, that's like same thing with Mafia 3.
Oh yeah.
That was my jam.
Dude, Barrett loves Mafia.
That was my jam for very specific reasons.
That legit.
Yeah.
Again,
dude, the Black episode, man.
Yeah.
This is the Black episode.
I say this every time that game is brought up. It is arguably one of the best told stories in this console generation.
By far.
Dude,
by far. People
spit
need
that
to
fire, Barrett.
respect Mafia 3.
Dude, let them know.
What a game. That's like one of like very few games I've 100%ed.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome.
But anyway, sorry. Like Fallout.
But
it just hurts.
It's unfortunate, right? And like, Fallout 76 coming out and not necessarily being a hit didn't surprise me because I was curious from the start.
Yeah.
When they announced that game, I was like, okay, a Fallout multiplayer game that's going to be in the same engine. Okay, let's see how this works. And it came out and didn't do, I guess, what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. And yeah, this is just like, like at this point, I'm sure Bethesda is just like, whatever. Like,
we're moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on. We're focused on Starfield now, or we're focused on Youngblood, because Youngblood just came out, and there's like not this level of bad things and controversy, but I don't think Youngblood also did. Are you familiar with Wolfenstein Youngblood?
Wolfenstein, yes, but not Youngblood.
So Wolfenstein Youngblood is the latest Wolfenstein game, the co-op game.
Oh, yeah.
Came out in July. I played a lot of it, and actually kind of enjoyed it, but it definitely like was very underwhelming compared to Wolfenstein, the New Colossus.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't this level of like, what are you doing? But it was like, I feel like Bethesda's having kind of a rough time right now.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal is coming up, and I don't want to eat my words.
Don't put it out there.
I don't want to eat my words, but there is no way, Barrett, that Doom Eternal can fail. There's no way.
But okay, so I looked at your Twitter and you said this about
I said this about Death Stranding. Yeah.
I was real confused after the last Death Stranding news. I was like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
But okay, so I'll hit you up once Doom Eternal comes out, because the last Doom game, so
Beautiful.
good.
My favorite shooter this generation.
It's so good. But I tried to I got it again when it came out on Switch. Wanted to throw up playing it. It's too small. Like in turning, I was just like,
I can't imagine that playing that game on Switch.
Yeah.
It is probably
Switch on the TV, but on the actual handheld, it was too much. But incredible game.
Playing it on the Switch on the TV, how's the controller? Because I feel like I haven't played many first-person shooters on Switch because I feel like the triggers aren't going to be like as, they won't feel as clean, I guess, as the other consoles.
It feels fine to me. So like, I just recently got an actual wireless controller because I just use Joy-Cons. I love it because I'm playing a lot like on airplanes and stuff. And so I'll set up my deal and I'll just sit like this and play while I'm laying down. And so I haven't had any problems playing shooters, fighting games. I could play a Smash on one Joy-Con. I love the Joy-Cons. They're amazing.
Awesome.
But yeah, sorry. I feel like I keep turning things off of topic. Fallout 76.
Man, I hope they turn that game around.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it with I know Rainbow Six Siege didn't have like a disastrous launch, but like they definitely like post launch really like just brought that game up.
Yeah.
I freaking love playing Rainbow Six Siege, and then like we've seen No Man's Sky come back.
Huge comeback.
It'd be awesome to see the same thing with Fallout 76. For some reason, I'm not as hopeful.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like Bethesda's so big and they're cranking out so many games. I feel like, let's say Final Fantasy XIV. Let's take that.
Yes.
So at launch, tons of people had it, but then it was like, this is kind of, we don't like it. So they revamped the entire thing and made it incredible.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Because it would take so much time.
Yeah.
Map is so big. All of the mechanics are so intricate. Like there might be some tweaks here and there. But hopefully it comes back around. But
hopefully we'll see. But Xavier, Fallout 76 is, I guess, I was gonna say return to glory, but I guess entering glory in the first place is so far away. If I wanted to know what is coming to mom and grop shops today, where would I look?
Ooh.
I'm not prepped you for this. This is me hoping you watch this show. You're essentially going to read.
I'm going to read these.
Yes, or not read these. We're going to read this right here.
Perfect.
List. Yeah.
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show, host each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
dude.
bless
Yeah,
him.
dude. I don't have a singing voice.
It's beautiful.
But I had to do it because
Beautiful
I know people like that, and
People
so
get mad at Tim when he refuses.
people do get mad at him, and I'm like, I don't want that energy shifted to me, and so I gotta sing. Out today, Contra Road Corps for PS4, Xbox One, Windows PC, and Switch. Color Slayer for PS4, Constructor Plus for Xbox One, Dead by Daylight for Switch.
Wait, in my bag, I gotta download that now.
Are you a Constructor Plus person?
No, Dead by Daylight.
Oh, Dead by Daylight. Oh yeah, for Switch. I didn't even realize it was coming out to Switch. That is
what's
exciting.
the Wi-Fi code in this?
Barrett or somebody can probably text it to you.
Don't say it right now.
Yeah, we're not gonna say it because we're not trying to get hacked over here.
Y'all think I'm playing around.
FIFA 20 Champions Edition for PS4, Xbox One, and Windows PC. FIFA 20 Ultimate Edition for PS4, Xbox One, and Windows PC. And am I confused, or like is FIFA 20 coming out later, like just the standard edition? Do you know, Barrett?
I don't know.
Well,
It might be one of those situations where don't they like
if you buy the
deluxe
special
editions
edition,
like comes out like a week early,
maybe
or something like that.
Kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Let us know. Football drama for Windows PC.
Football drama?
Dude, I would love if that was just like some like telenovela, but with football players.
Dude,
I really wish.
yes.
I'm really big on dating sims right now.
Really?
I don't know if you guys noticed, but today on the best YouTube channel ever, Up, Up, Down, Down, we have I Love You, Colonel Sanders. It's
Dude.
a KFC dating simulator.
Heck yeah.
I
dude.
already
it's
had
really
a prep
good.
for you, boy.
It's super anime.
Is it really?
It's unreal. It released today, right?
Yeah,
Released
it's
today on
released
Steam.
today,
It's
yeah.
free.
It's free?
It's free.
What?
Really?
It's free.
Yo.
And dude, it's like a legit dating sim. It's 5 different endings. Super hyper sexy anime Colonel Sanders.
Dude,
It is incredible.
we might have to talk about, because I know we have a party mode that we're doing today for a specific game.
Ooh, we might
Yo.
have
We
to
might
change
have
that
to
up.
like hit up Andy and be like, yo, I don't know if there's like, if you guys need this one to happen today, but like,
It would be
yo,
cool.
It would be cool to do one with this. That's awesome.
Can we get on?
Habroxia for PS4 is out today. And like we said, I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator for Windows PC. And apparently it's free. So I guess that's your deal of the day also.
Hashtag ad for me.
Oh yeah, hashtag ad for Xavier.
Yes.
I'm gonna play this game, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. We also have Monstrum for PS4, Noita for Windows PC, Northgard for Switch, Rex Rocket for Xbox One, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast for PS4 and Switch, which Barrett is excited about over there.
I didn't realize it was coming out on Switch.
Yeah, dude. It was announced during, I think, the last Nintendo Direct. Very
it was
random.
like the wildest fucking announcement.
Yeah.
Did you watch the last Nintendo Direct? I know you've been
like
busy.
10 minutes. And this is where my pain is, guys. I don't get to see everything. I'm sorry.
It was so wild because this is one of those things where back in April, during April Fools, IGN had like a fake Nintendo Direct that they did where they're like, everything is coming to Switch. It felt like that. It felt like, they were like, oh yeah, and Jedi Outcast and Deadly Premonition 2 and like this and like that. And some random SNK character, people are going to get mad at me because I called him random. But an SNK character is coming to Smash and like all this stuff, right?
It's Terry, right?
Yes, Terry Bogard.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. And then, that's coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch. Sally's Law is coming to Xbox One, and The Surge 2 is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows PC. And those are all out today. Now it's time for some reader mail. You can write into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, now it's time for some reader questions.
Let's go.
How many questions in here do we have from Frankfurtter, Barrett?
Yeah, this is also Frankfurter.
It's the only other one. Okay.
Man, Frankfurter getting a lot of love this episode. Frankfurter asks, writes into, is it patreon.com/kindoffunnygames?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Bam.
What
a host.
Look at me.
Can we
Look at me. I watch the show every day.
I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you.
And now it's just all of Greg's like transitions, everything are just ingrained into me. Like
I just
everybody
wanna
else
say,
that watches the show.
You are so much better of a host than Greg Miller.
Man, from Xavier Woods, dude, give me a handshake.
Just incredible.
Thank you, dude.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
ABC, y'all.
Frankfurter writes in and says, "Good morning, blessing in the commish. The Untitled Goose Game just came out last week, and already someone has managed to speedrun it in just under 4 minutes. I casually watch speedruns every once in a while of some of my favorite games, but I'm interested in hearing if you do too, and if so, which games. Keep up the good work, and thanks for all you do,
Thank
Frankfurter."
you,
Are
Frankfurter.
you a speed? I was gonna say a speed run person.
Feed runner. Yes, I
you a
eat while I play
feedrunner?
games. A lot. Yes. So I actually just got the Untitled Goose Game. I
Yeah?
downloaded it last night because my friend won't quit talking about it.
You
So
liking
Let
it?
me see. I haven't gotten to play it. I was
Okay.
trying to finish Link's Awakening. I'm on the 7th.
You liking that?
I love it.
Dude, I'm playing the game right now. It's making me feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
'Cause,
why?
like, I'm 2 dungeons in, and I've used more walkthroughs in the first 2 dungeons that I've had for whole games.
Okay, so you didn't play it on
I didn't
Game
play it
Boy.
on Game Boy
Okay,
originally,
so
no.
that's the difference. So like
Yeah.
me, I turned the game on and I was like, okay, yeah, clearly I remember this game. I remember playing
Mm-hmm.
this when I was younger. And in the forefront of my mind, I'm like, oh, what do I do next? But my hands are literally just moving to the next thing. I'm like, oh, let me try this room. And it's literally like I haven't made a misstep yet.
Really?
I'm just going.
When that happens, isn't that great?
Yeah, but I legit don't remember.
It's like
but
Galaxy Brain.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
but it's such a good game.
But you just started the 7th dungeon.
yes,
Have fun with that one.
yeah.
It's
We'll see. I remember having problems
that's
with that.
the only dungeon. Like I beat it over the weekend. And that was and I didn't play it originally, and that was the only dungeon where I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
What is going on?"
That's the one with all the switches, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's like
okay.
multiple floors, and if you fall down a floor and you have certain switches up, then you have to like retrace your steps and like do all this complicated stuff. I was really bad at it.
Okay, well, probably hit the standstill. As far as speedruns go, what's the big yearly speedrun deal that you for charity?
I know what you're talking about. Don't tell me, Barrett. It is Awesome Games Done Quick
Summer day
and Summer Games Done
yeah,
Quick.
yes.
Is it both of them?
Yes, I think so.
So-
Because I feel like there's 2 of them.
Normally on the road while that's going on, but I watch that. I watched a guy run through like Mega Man 3. So I like Mega Man speedruns.
Yeah.
Because I love Mega Man, but I'm just trash. Just gutter trash.
Yeah, I feel that.
Especially like I was like, oh, Mega Man 5. I know everything about Mega Man 5. I can probably speedrun that. No, I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah.
That's like when people see people playing football, they're like, oh, why didn't he catch the ball? I could do that. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah,
You can't speedrun this game.
yeah.
At least me.
No, I'm with you. Where like I'll watch a speed run and I'm like immediately I'm like, there's no way. Like for a second, I'll be like, oh yeah, a Donkey Kong 64 speed run. I could do that. But then I actually watched a Donkey Kong 64 speed run.
And they're like breaking the game.
They're clipping through everything.
It's wild.
Jumping on like certain pixels of blocks to get to the next thing. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. There's I forget which. If it was Awesome Games Done Quick or what it was, but they did a speed run of, I guess it was a game called Mega Man DOS. It was like a Mega Man game on, I guess, Apple, old Apple computers. In the game, like the whole time they're just roasting the game, but at the same time, like they played this game so much that they're able to just speed run through it because like that's how deep it goes. Like people just speed run the most random and most unique specific games.
Yeah.
I freaking like I'm not. I'm not too invested in that community just because like I just have a lot of stuff going on. But when I can, I tune in, and it's always like a mind blowing thing. Also, Mario Maker speedruns are incredible. Shout out to Grand Pooh Bear.
Yeah,
Grand Pooh Bear.
I was gonna say Grand Pooh Bear.
Grand Pooh Bear is awesome.
Yes,
dude. I did a panel.
Yes.
I did a panel at PAX like last year with Grand Pooh Bear and Khalif Adams spawned me. Grand Pooh Bear, one very nice dude, awesome dude, but also just very talented.
So insane.
He's awesome.
So insanely talented.
Yes. Check out twitch.tv/Grand Pooh Bear. I assume that's his Twitch channel. Maybe there's an underscore in there. I don't know. Search him up.
He's a good dude, very kind. We're trying to get together to stream.
I think he might be like the record holder for both of my Mario Maker levels.
Wait, really?
I think
that's awesome.
I could be confusing him with someone else, but I think it might just be a similar. It might just be a similar name. But Andy was going back and forth with someone on my levels.
Back and forth with Grand Pooh Bear. That'd be wild. Xavier, I'm going to ask you my own question.
Okay.
We have more questions here, but I want to ask you a question because, like, of course, once again, two black hosts here, man. We're making history. You know, this may never happen again. It better happen again, Greg. It better happen again.
And it better be with us.
Exactly. Who, and you might have to think a little bit, favorite black character in a video game?
Oh, in a video game. Because I was immediately going to say Powerline, because Powerline is black. Let's be serious. But in a video game,
it sucks that it's hard to think of.
It's hard because we were talking about Mafia. I was going to say Lincoln. It's Lincoln, right?
Yeah. The main character.
It's been a minute. It's been a second.
Yeah, Lincoln March.
Yeah. God.
Because for me, it's my created character and all.
I was going to say, you know what? It's me in WWE 2K.
Ooh.
I'm legit in the game. There we go. But then I don't know, because there's a Rocky game and Apollo Creed is in it. Apollo Creed's my favorite like character of anything. I don't know. Let me think. I'm gonna think.
I have to think about it too because I was gonna give an answer, but now I'm like, I don't even know what my answer is.
Yeah.
Developers, make more games with black people in them, please.
With us in them.
With us in them, please. Actually, I'll be in any game. Actually, I am actually scanned into State of Decay 2.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, random stuff. So I guess me in that game.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that was a weird thing because it was through like I had a friend that had a friend and that happened. Let's get into this question written by Gage. They ask, hey, Blessing, welcome to your first hosting day. It's my second hosting day now. As part of this amazing community, I'm sure I can speak for everyone and say we're so proud of you and are so happy to see you behind the desk today. From KF Prom King to host, let's go. Thank you so much, Gage. I appreciate that. So my question today is, I know that today everyone is obsessing over Last of Us 2 and potential WB in this potential WB Batman game, which I should remind people we're having a watch along of the state of play happening later today.
Yeah.
Tuesday at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
So we're gonna stay live here. It's gonna be Games Daily going right into Harry Potter in review, right into this watch along.
Yeah. So if you're watching this later in the day, this is gonna be a dated question. But I'm wondering, between the state of play and Inside Xbox today, do you think we see anything new from Jedi Fallen Order? I feel like we're really close to that game, and yet I don't see any marketing for it. If you do something, or if you do see something, what would get you hyped? So for you, are you following Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Are you like up to date with like that game?
I'm not up to date.
So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is being developed by Respawn, who does like Titanfall and Apex Legends and all that stuff, right? It's the new the Jedi. I don't know the story of Jedi Fallen Order, but essentially you're playing as a Jedi in this game. It's an action game, right?
Third person.
Third person. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome from what we've seen. I guess for me, because like I'm probably gonna get the game. I've not really thought too hard about the game because it's one of those things of like, yeah, this game looks exciting. When it gets here, I'll get it. I'll play it. I would like to see more of some of the Metroidvania aspects that I've heard being talked about but haven't been shown for the game, because I know at E3 they had some vertical slices that they showed off.
Yeah, it was more of just showing like the actiony kind of like almost
Yeah.
very Dark Souls light-esque combat that they had, and then it was like cool and stuff, and then all of these people who got to see behind closed doors demos and whatnot were like, this game is way more expansive than
they're like, there's
on.
so much more to this, right? You can go, apparently, like you have a ship that you go back to and all this stuff, and there's a lot more exploration elements in the game. And so I don't know if it's gonna be in either State of Play or Xbox, but because this State of Play is only be 20 minutes, and so like we assume Batman's gonna be there. We know Last of Us 2 is gonna be there, and so like that's not much time. And so who knows? Maybe inside Xbox, but as me and Greg were talking about yesterday, right? Like inside Xbox hasn't necessarily come out and had like these big like megatons, right? These big like reveals, right? And so like, and I guess like
and the thing that they're advertising for this inside Xbox is like updates to like services. And
yeah,
stuff like that.
I feel like another showing of Star Wars, what's it called again? Jedi Fallen Order. I feel like that would be the type of thing that would be advertised in the tweet, because I feel like that's not like a second showing isn't necessarily a surprise, right? Like I feel like at that point we're just like, oh yeah, cool. Like let's see what this is. And
I am down with an undersell though.
That's true. You know,
because I feel like this past year specifically, there's been so much overselling of stuff, and then we get it and we're like, I mean, it's good.
I feel that.
I do like a good undersell,
I
especially.
definitely feel that.
And I could see that being the thing, especially with all of the Star Wars stuff that has been coming out recently. Like now knowing what is it since Star Wars under new management, they have like a new Star Wars like every year now. It's like the goal. So it's like almost like an oversaturation where they could be like, this game is going to be incredible, and we're just going to let it speak for itself when it drops.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's see here. How much time do we have? I should actually wrap up. And so before I wrap up and get into You're Wrong, let's squad up. Today's squad up comes from Samantha Jade. Samantha Jade wants help in Pokemon Go. They say, "What's up, Blessing?" in the commish. Did I do that right?
You did.
I hope I did that right.
You did. You can hit it. You can hit it from the
base.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that in me.
Do.
I think Greg. I know Greg has that in him, but like. I'm gonna practice that because I know we'll do this again someday, and by that time I'm gonna have it down. They say, thanks for reading my squad up. I'm looking for some best friends who want to become best friends in Pokemon Go. I'm stuck on a special research task to add new friends, and I'd like to find new friends from all over the globe to get some long distance eggs, which is a funny sentence. I'm sorry. They say I'm from Australia. If you'd like to add me, my friend code is 73643350678, and I'm assuming that'll be in the YouTube description, Barrett. They say, I look forward to swapping gifts with you soon, which is another you're
in Australia. I'm going to Australia soon.
Dude, you're everywhere.
I try.
That's awesome,
I
man.
try. If I'll re-download the game, because I literally in the transfer I deleted it, so I'll re-download it and I will add you on my friend code. We can swap gifts.
Let's get into Your Wrong. It looks like, let's see, the nanobiologist writes in and says, a nitpicky thing, but it's The Last of Us Part 2, not The Last of Us 2. I shouldn't even read that. We know. We know.
Come on, Nano.
Now I understand why, like,
Now you get it.
when I like watch the show and I see y'all get frustrated, but now like I'm looking at all the Your Wrongs and that's the one that's starting off. I love you, nanobiologist. You do a great job every day.
And reminder, if you want to submit a You're Wrong, you can go to kindoffunny.com/You're Wrong.
Yes.
To get those submissions.
Let's see. Borzen00 says Final Fantasy VII Remake is supposedly expanded out to the length to be about 40 to 80 hours. Now, they don't really say if that's one game or the whole everything together. And so, but I assume that's everything together. I don't know, man. Lord of Pone says Square Enix has said that this first game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake is equivalent to a mainline Final Fantasy title. Okay, so they're essentially saying that like this is gonna be Final Fantasy Remake Part 1 is gonna be as long as any Final Fantasy game.
But okay, so in Final Fantasy 13, like we're talking about, I done like 50 hours into that.
Like just the first one, because there's 3 of those. There's Final Fantasy 13 1, 2, and Lightning Returns.
Just the first one.
Just the first one.
Yeah.
So like I think it's gonna be that type of thing.
That's a lot of game. And to end at Midgard, is there new stuff in there?
I think there is. I think there is.
Has to.
I think they're adding, because Tim was saying, because he played it, right? And he was saying that, like, yeah, they expand on some things that you almost wouldn't have expected, but like makes sense for, an updated Final Fantasy VII game.
That's not turn-based type stuff.
Yeah.
So like the biggest part of that game for me, or my favorite thing is when you have to go and get the dress and the wig and do squats and stuff to sneak into dude's house. So like I'm hoping that they expand a lot on that. Like I could do that for an hour. Give me more of that.
The nanobiologist also writes in and says, per a DICE article about Apple Arcade paying developers, there are other unanswered questions too. What we don't know, it's not clear how developers who make their game available to Apple Arcade will be paid. Exclusivity means you can't port a game to Android, which is pretty interesting. So those are just some more further details. Borson00 writes in and says Mega Man DOS was part of the awful block, and that is only at Awesome Games done quick, and they are known to bash games a lot, which I think I remember there being some controversy about because people work hard on their games, and so for it to be like a whole thing dedicated to bashing games, but like at the same time, these are very old games. I'm sure people aren't. I'm sure whoever developed Mega Man DOS isn't out here like, how dare you? But I get both sides of it. Nanopologist says I'm the Great Wall of fact checking. Thank you. The Champ writes in and says the best black character is Clementine. Is Clementine black? Did I miss that?
From
Walking Dead.
Oh, why am I thinking of what's the girl's name in BioShock? The last.
Oh,
one.
the little sister. Oh, the last one.
Shit.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She's definitely not black.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Oh, so now
But I
that
don't
you've
know why I
had
was
time to
thinking
think, do you have an answer? It's okay if you don't. I should have prepped you. We could have thought about this. I wanted to, since it's two black hosts, I wanted to do something for the occasion, and I definitely just sprung this up on you. Luther in Detroit Become Human is awesome.
Great character.
Actually, I'm gonna say I can't remember her name, but there is a black woman in Detroit Become Human who helps out a lot later in the game.
She's
I love her.
She's like Harriet Tubman-esque.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I love her.
I'm going through my top 5 games, and it's all like animals, robots, Japanese dudes.
The brothers in The Last of Us that you meet very briefly, they're pretty cool. The way that ends is kind of like, oh no, it's sad, but I like those characters. Game developers, make more black characters. Hire more black creators so that those characters can be written in authentically. Do all that great stuff.
Yo, check it. Okay, Mario Kart Double Dash, animals. River City Ransom, Japanese. Dudes and chicks. Mischief Makers, robots. Mega Man 5, robots.
This is your top 5?
Yeah.
You just don't like humans.
Yo, apparently not. Wow. I mean, my Mega Man is black. Mega Ran.
Shout out to Doomfist in Overwatch because he's Nigerian and I'm Nigerian.
Ooh, okay.
And so I want to give a shout out to Doomfist.
Shout out Doomfist.
Shout out Doomfist. But yeah, that's it for Kind of Funny Games Daily. Tomorrow's host is going to be me and Greg. Greg is returning from his Last of Us thing. Is he going to give impressions?
Conveniently after Xavier leaves.
I'm so sorry you have to host
Xavier
with Greg. I'm so sorry.
Hey, man, I do what I got to do, I guess.
Yeah, you pay your dues.
I got to pay my dues, it's suffering so that I get to host with you.
Oh,
Xavier Woods. Hey, man, it's been wonderful. I'm so glad that I got to host with you. You've been awesome. This has been like a dream come true. This has been legendary. And yeah, how does Greg usually sign off? It's been our pleasure to serve you.
Yeah.
You should have your own sign off.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know what my sign off would be. I can't. This is a lot of pressure.
Hey, this has been Kind of Funny Games. Y'all be blessed.
Hey.